So everyone, this is my smooth 5S AI. No cables, no wires, just simple, easy. Got the super clamp from Sunway Photo. This is the CC02. If I want to mount this on scalping poles and poles on the streets, do time lapse, do tracking, oh yeah, useful. But other than that, everyone, so clean this looks. But the audio is from Comica. This is the Boom XD. Had it for 5 years and it still works. I had to do some modifications to the bottom of my case, as you can see, so this can fit on the smooth 5S AI. But I like it. It's transparent. It looks cool. Got the LED light, the tracker. It just looks nice. The transparency. Even the AI in the transparency, you can see the logic boards. It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my iPhone 14 Pro experience. I only have $500 to spend, so I did some digging, did some research. I came across Amazon Renew again. Now, this is not the first time I purchased an iPhone from Amazon Renew. It was a miss the first time, but this time it's a hit. So, disclaimer everyone, I am using the Zhiyun Smooth 5S AI Gimbal. And yes, Zhiyun did send this out to me. So I'm gonna actually do 2 product reviews in 1 video. So with that said everyone, I'm using this iPhone 14 Pro in the gimbal in combination to show you that the iPhone 14 Pro is no slouch in 2025. If you look at these benchmark scores, is it worth upgrading for only 200 points, 300 points? No, because that's a margin error. So what I mean by margin error is like, hey, let's say you buy a newer phone that got 10, 11,000 benchmark score in the GPU. That's when I can say that's worth the upgrade. But when you have a margin error of like only 200 points, 300 points, it kinda is not worth the upgrade. Now, here's the caveat. The caveat is the lightning port on the iPhone 14 Pro. That is the issue. Other than that, the phone performs beastly, like it should as a video camera, as a photo camera, as your daily driver, as your only device or main driver device that you rely on when paying bills, paying for transportation, paying tap. All these things matter. But what surprised me was the Diamond Island. Very easy to use, very easy to understand how to use it, and there's a lot of apps that are able to actually function with that feature. So with that said, everyone, this is in real time. I'm not using any wireless audio. I'm using the iPhone 14 Pro's built-in microphone to give you guys an idea that sometimes the microphone even comes in a pinch. It is very cold out here. So with that said, let's continue this somewhere else.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so Zhiyun, if you press the menu button on the gimbal when you're using the app, you can access the temp library, and you can use the score button on the gimbal to access it or go down or go up, and without even touching the screen, which is pretty cool. So when you're using this gimbal or the Smooth 5S AI, you can also use the dials and the buttons to navigate through the menu system for templates or customs or drafts. Depends on what you want, but you still will have to touch the screen to go back to the main app, so keep that in mind. Also, as well, in the app you can activate gesture controls, because right now gesture controls are off. You can activate those gesture controls as well. You can do the follow and shoot, or you can do shoot only, or you can do follow only, but make sure you turn it on by clicking that. Make sure you identify the gestures and make sure the gesture controls are on. So if you want that off, you just click that off again. Simple. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so if you go back into the app once again, click on this three icon dial, you can get into another menu. This is the gimbal, general, and shooting settings. Now, if you are going to be setting up the gimbal for any sports activity, I should just set it to run. If you're doing walking in the city, set it to walk. You can also set your modes easy through the app and the speed duration for the joystick. Now you can zoom. Speed depends on how fast you want the zoom in, so keep that in mind. You got invert controls. Now you can calibrate the gimbal through here as well, and calibrate the motors through here, so keep that in mind, but you have to do it through the phone. So in order to do that, let me demonstrate. Phone is on, complete it. Once that's done, confirm. It would go to a calibrate scenario. And confirm everything's calibrated. Now, if you are going to be shooting video, I suggest if you're going to be using wireless microphones or shotgun microphones, set that up beforehand, or Bluetooth microphones, set that up beforehand. If you're going to be using flash, use the flash, but there's a built-in flash on this gimbal already. So with that said, everyone, and then if you need to change the grid, you can change the grid, white balance. You can do HDR shooting if you wanted to, or selfie follow, which you're going to be using that with AI tracking anyway, so keep that in mind. But in the general settings, as I said, you can do everything that you need. You can put it in sleep mode if you wanted to, or if you want, it can literally show you a demo. But you can control basically your device through the Bluetooth, as I said. But other than that, everyone, get this gimbal. In the box, you're gonna get a Prime card. Alright? It's just a normal Prime membership for your 365 days of your ownership of your gimbal. But if you want Prime Plus, if you want to use Pro Mode features, when you're using the gimbal, it will go into another app called the Steadicam. The Steadicam app is phenomenal. You can see your waveforms, your false colors, you can mind you, your histogram. It's pretty awesome, right? But the only problem that I'm having with this is that why I cannot use something that's free all the time in most smartphones, which is a grid. Why do I have to have Prime Plus in order to use Grid? So with that said, everyone, see, I just restarted my phone, and still, it's doing it. It's not connecting to Bluetooth through the app. So the Zhiyun app is just not ideal. Seriously. What's up, Panda Nation? So this is my iPhone 14 Pro experience in 2025. I know there's an iPhone 15, which I am comparing this iPhone 14 Pro against the 15. So, do you need to upgrade? And if so, what iPhone are you coming from? Are you coming from an older phone, or are you coming from the 13 Pro? So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's necessary to update at this time if you have an iPhone 14 Pro. From my gaming experience, I find my gaming experience just flawless. It never lagged, it never stutter. I'm winning my games. Performance-wise, I think the GPU's performance is outstanding. When it comes on to multi-core functions, the functionalities in apps, I think most of the time, I did see some lag, and mind you, I'm on iOS 18.3.1. I did see some lag, but I did see a battery improvement. So, is it really necessary to really discuss the matter of upgrading from 13 or older phone? Yes, you should buy it, the iPhone 14 Pro, if you're upgrading from much older iPhones. Keep that in mind. But recently, iPhone announced the iPhone 16e, and a lot of people were disappointed that it doesn't have MagSafe and other features that a lot of you already have downloaded apps, and the camera functionality is handicapped. So if I were you, if you're upgrading from an older phone and was considering upgrading from the iPhone 14 or iPhone 16e, it's not worth the money when you can buy the iPhone 14 Pro for the same price of the iPhone 16e and get Pro specs. So with that said, everyone, my experience with the Dynamic Island with certain apps was neutral. It wasn't like I was using Dynamic Island that much, but it was very useful. It came in handy when using maps, navigating through Spotify and other apps. But other than that, I'm shooting this, mind you, shooting this on my Samsung device, but when shooting video in cinematic mode, I found cinematic mode a little bit gimmickly. I hope you saw it in the footage. I just found that it needs to be tweaked out a little bit better, and I noticed that when you want to focus on subjects, sometimes there's some processing going on, and I don't like. It doesn't seem natural in my opinion as a filmmaker, but I used it and I take it with a grain of salt, using it in 3 times, 2 times, and 1 times. But other than that, everyone, it's just a solid phone. I definitely recommend upgrading it if you're upgrading from an older phone. But if you want to upgrade to a newer phone and want to be the greatest and latest, that's your choice. I can't force you. This is just my opinion on using the iPhone 14 Pro in 2025, which I bought from Amazon. Now, keep this in mind. This is a renewed product from Amazon, my second one. So take everything with the grain of salt. Ladies and gentlemen, Zhiyun sent me the Smooth 5. I know, I made a lot of live stream videos about it, showing off and showing you in real time, in the real world, how to use this gimbal properly. As a real world user and as a YouTuber that creates content, I'm only trying to make sure that the consumer knows how this gimbal functions. And as someone that had just slight problems with the gimbal, with the joystick sticking to its bare left sometimes, that was the downfall. And the ZY Play app not working very well. But I do have to say the Zhiyun apps that do work perfectly, and I do recommend them, the ones that did feature. So ladies and gentlemen, do I recommend the Smooth 5 AI to you as an individual looking for a gimbal of their choice? I know there are other brands out there. You got DJI that just came up with 2 new gimbals. You got the Instant 360, they just came out with a gimbal, and they all have some type of AI tracking. I understand that. But in my experience, when dealing with social media, when dealing with communications with the brand, I just found Zhiyun to be more responsive and more proactive with their audience and giving their audience some airtime users, in my opinion. So I do want to say thank you to the Zhiyun US and Global for reaching out and having this discussion about sending me this gimbal. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to make sure that you understand that as someone that wants to give you an honest review on the gimbal, I do recommend the gimbal. It's light. Yes, it's made out of a premium plastic build construction, but keep this in mind. I noticed that a lot of YouTubers that use this gimbal, that use apps, I want to know, did you turn on stabilization? Because that was one of my mistakes in the very beginning. If you watch the first 4 videos, I was talking about stabilization, it was being shaky. So when I was using the Premise Live, or when I discovered this, when I'm using Streamlabs, I turned on stabilization and the footage became better. Now keep this in mind. This is what everyone believes that what a gimbal is supposed to do. The gimbal is supposed to do 90% of the work and you only do 10% of the work. That is not the case. You're supposed to put in 50% of the work and the gimbal puts in 50% of the work. You're supposed to hold it straight and hold it steady so you can have steady footage. So ladies and gentlemen, gimbals provide a need, a help, a guidance to your video production. It's not there to solve your answers. It's there to help you solve your answers. So ladies and gentlemen, my Zhiyun Smooth 5 SAI experience has been very good. Functionality wise, it's stable, it's reliable. Tracking is something that needs to be tested more often, and I should test it.
Lost. See? Oh. Got me again, okay.
But as I said, everyone, this is my experience with the gimbal. So take everything what you see with a grain of salt. Thank you for watching, and thank you to the Zhiyun team for sending out the Smooth 5. But with that said, everyone, I'm going to leave all the links to everything in the descriptions. So eat, sleep, photography, Zhiyun, and repeat. Oh man. And I'll see you guys in the next one.